spawning in on one of the best maps in the game, in my opinion. We've got Swamp Pass. So, on the bottom side of the map, as the orange Persian player, we've got Robroc, and as the green Kelp player, we've got Magmaheady. Oh, this is a really lucky, really nice spawn here. I think this fails the 1 tile away from the mine check. I'll have to tell Taz that he is not alone in failing that. But anyway, that's a really lucky spawn there in a sense, because it means Robroc doesn't really have to build a second storehouse to gather any gold. He's gonna go fast hunting dogs and just gather gold early. A little bit early even, because he could really go for a quick dock, go for a quick barracks. And he's already got that, you know, starting 150 gold. Hunting dogs cost 50. Your basic barracks units are going to cost like 10. And like your spearmen or your sparrowbara. And you really need food and wood to age up early on. Magmaheady in the meanwhile. He's also gone on the hunt, but he hasn't actually killed it with his scout. So that's one little trick he needs to learn that Rob's done. His experience as a PvEer. So I mean, it's not huge, but it does mean you just lose out a little bit on gathering time, because they do scatter a bit. It is still worth it going out over the berries in my opinion, especially if you've got hunting dogs, which Magma's going for now. And I mean, it's a good spot to just hang your goats out if you don't want to have them around your town centre. Oh, Magma's not producing any villages. Ooh, ouch. That's not good. There you go, he's overqueued them a little bit now, but there we go, Rob's getting his barracks. Magma's getting his barracks. Not that far behind. So we'll probably see some early aggression here. Storehouse going down for stone, so oh, this means Rob can get about 300 wood out of that too. So he'll be able to actually get his wood storehouse this late. Bank quite a bit of food. So he's really just going to have to worry about wood and stone. Get that second town centre on the way. Magma's making the villages again now. It's good. No one's really opted to go for these lakes at all. There's plenty of food on them, trust me. But, Rob, put the storehouse 1 tile away from the mine, please. Because it's efficient. This isn't so bad as well, like it's hard when it's on an angle like that. You've actually got to rotate the storehouse to be able to sort of like put it back perfectly. And these herdables are going to last longer as well because Magma's got hunting dogs. Both players have hunting dogs early, which is cool. Probably a little bit wasteful leaving that second storehouse till now, in my opinion. Oh, maybe not. If there was a third one there, maybe. Just because you want to really maximize the value you actually get out of that second investment. But still, Rob's a little bit ahead on eco at the moment, even though Magma has that eco handicap. Sorry, it's just checking the stream. Yeah, it's all good. So, Magma's actually going age 2. Rob isn't just yet. And he is going to be housed when that villager finished. So he's going to need to throw down a house. Both players pretty much even in population. It's 19 to 18 workers in favour of Rob. Magma's finishing up his age 2. Getting pickers, getting some spearmen. But, oh, this is some nice aggression here from Rob. So the spearmen are going to fall. Pretty quickly, they're a bit outnumbered here. One of the spars is going to go down, so Rob's not going to micro it away. You can do that and try and save him, get a little bit more value. Oh, actually, he's going to survive. And Magma's not going to focus him, so Rob's going to get a couple of really early kills. Losing some of the sparring now. Or one of them. Getting a bit low. Oh, Magma's actually getting slingers already. An interesting addition. He really probably needs to add longswordsmen. Rob's just aging up. So Magma's slightly ahead of Rob in terms of population at the moment, but Rob getting his own HQ. And Rob's probably got the map control at the moment, really. Magma's not moved out. Slingers, I mean, preemptively, I mean, it's gonna mean if Rob goes for the bowman straight away, then the Slinger's already there to counter it, but at the same time, Rob can just opt to go for Asabara. Get the stables. Really punish the Kelp player for opening with a range. Because then you've got to rely on one barracks to outcompete both the stables and the barracks from the Persian player, because Slingers are going to do relatively no damage. And Asabara, Sparabara, when they produce like that, yeah, they can beat Longswordsman Spear, because these are only being produced out of one facility compared to two. Units in this game are so cool. Such a cool looking shield. I think that's from the summer event. So Magma leading in resources. Early farm, so he's obviously a bit of an age 2 player. I think he'll be pretty happy that these last for infinite time. You don't have to keep replacing them every couple of minutes. Unlike AOE 2. Rob getting some eco techs. Magma's really only got his food techs, while yeah, Rob's added in handsaw. He's going for a fairly greedy second town center. He's going to try and push Magma just over at the barracks. There's a lot of units here, so Magma, he's ahead in population here. Lots of houses here from Rob, but he needs to get a second production facility here. Start it now before this finishes up, actually, because he can afford it, considering he's floated enough resources. He can go for probably a range and the stables, really, if he wanted at this point, because having that edge over the Kelp player and sort of forcing them to want to transition to age 3 quicker. Oh no, Magma, don't drop. Hope he's not gonna lag out. Oh, this is really nice. Rob's managed to sneak a Spara into the woodline of Magma, but at the moment hasn't started responding yet. You get a lot of value out of this. Magma's not actually making any villages, so 26 vills to 22, favouring Magma, but don't forget he's playing with Handicap, so he does have slightly quicker production and gathering. These individual Spara are going to fall. They only managed to get a couple of villages, but still it's a little bit of damage. This quicker gathering though, it's really nice. You can't really actually see it registered there, but Magma's gathering unbelievably fast over Rob's at the moment, considering the handicap. So we've got double stables coming here from Rob. But oh, a third town center here from Rob. He's gone for a quick age 3. He wants to be able to transition into his own later mid-game comp with, you know, Immortals, Champion Bowman, Champion Asabara, Champion Spearman. Second town center coming up from Magma, but he's going to have to throw it back down because the woodline prevented it going up. But I think he might actually opt to throw it down somewhere a little bit further over. Or does he not realise? Oh, there we go. Sort of deciding on the best spot, really. I guess his logic is a little bit of walking time, but having this sort of central means he can get away with having fairly late storehouses. It's not really something you'd see a lot of here, but it might be more common in AOE 2, I guess. Magma with a huge food bank, all down to this. It's not even a terribly big food eco, considering Celt infantry costs a lot of food. But with that handicap, and with the fact that he's just committed to the farm, so these villagers have just been plugging away here, they haven't had to move away at all. Slowly gaining back a lot of that value. But Rob, the third town centre, he'll be able to outproduce on villagers. So neither player's really gone for the water at all, even though there's plenty of food there. Like shitloads of food, man. Neither player's really got a big army at all either. So we got a couple of stables and a barracks. Markets coming down here as well. So this is really cool. All Rob has to do is really put a wall down here. Maybe chuck a wall over here as well. One over here. And he's got a really safe market line. Because this is right at the back of his base. It feeds onto a forward town centre, which is bolstered by another town centre. You can chuck down a bunch of storehouses, houses, and a fort here. Make this really hard for his opponent to take. Well, it looks as though Magma has failed the one tile check. Put storehouses one tile away from the mine, because they gather quicker, more efficiently, more value. You want that value. Oh well, Rob's actually going to check the waterline with the Asabara there. So Rob's going to move over onto the water here, check the other side, sees that Magma's not got a dock there himself, and he's going to actually harass these stone gatherers of Magmas. Magma's doing a lot of distance gathering there, probably pay to throw up a storehouse now. And maybe get some watch posts like Rob's doing, and maybe even start walling like Rob's done. Just give himself that bit of map presence and safety. We'll see how much these caravans are going to start generating for Rob. 92, so not the best, but Rob can always build them now. Throw up a market over here, throw up a town centre over here, and retask them. And that way he'll start earning a lot more. Magma in the meanwhile, starting to get aggressive on the field. So Rob's not really wanting to move out at the moment. Magma's got a relatively similarly sized army, and he's able to build a really quick fortress with only a couple of villages there. So I don't know what Rob's trying to do here, because he's going to have to try and... Well, he is going to get there. Rob's going to be getting a big food eco behind this, and he might just prevent this fortress from going up. I think he will too. He will. Oh no! He doesn't. 21 head points, it's all that separates him from establishing map control here, and he's going to throw away the Asabara unfortunately as well. So Magma's going to get that fortress up, and well, he just needs to task the villagers inside the gold mine. And a lot out of that. Take the upgrade, get heaps of gold out of there. We see a mortal camp coming out, so these guys are going to be able to mess with the road raiders and the longswordsmen. Rob's not really bothered with bowmen at all game. He's actually going to possibly look at getting priests or making use of paid labor or blot out the sun or rigorous training. And so what these do, rigorous training, if you don't know, makes everything more expensive but train faster. Everything military anyway. Paid labor makes villages cost gold instead of food. Reduces their training time. And blot out the sun makes bowmen squishier but longer range. So all of them make persons really cool, because they're just sort of a flexible adaptive civ, almost like how the Indian civ's going to be when it comes out. We see a lot of food eco here from Robroc, so he's up to 79 villages to Magma's 68. So Rob's experience over Magma showing through with the fact that he's using so much more watch posts. Magma hasn't used one at all, he's just got some units on the perimeter in a spot here and there. And yeah, he's distance gathering a little bit more. No walls yet from him. Compositionally, I think it's reasonably even. I mean, the words and the slingers not so good with the fact that there's no bowman. There's a big bunch of immortals coming out now, but I mean, there's druids coming, there's some bowmen here, although Magma really needs to add a lot more of those. Bring them together. He does have some horsemen as well. Some longswordsmen. He's got champion on those, so he just needs to make sure they don't enter the fight too early and die to the immortals. So Magma's got all of his Age 2 upgrades. So some druids here, these guys are going to be really useful. Going to add damage and healing to the fight. It's got a little bit of lag here. Rob's only just now starting to get his upgrades, he's getting shield room now. But his opponent has very little range at the moment. There's only a couple of bowmen and a couple of slingers. It's mostly melee from the Celt player. And so perhaps getting his own temper or scale mail upgrade would be the way to go, or even the barbed arrows, considering the immortals can engage at range and he can always transition to the bowman. In fact, he's looking at doing that right now, adding a fortress in the middle here, making this extremely hard to bust into. Meanwhile, anything rallied towards his base is going to be pushed through this little spot because everything else is walled off. So Robroc now up to supposedly 99 total villages. And he has actually got his H3 caravan upgrade. Look at that little icon on there. Right, that might be better. So Takabara now coming out from Robroc. Bowman count still fairly low here from Magma. It's a very interesting battle here because Takara aren't going to be terribly useful, but the Immortals, the fact that Robroc's base is so nice and hard to break into here, it's really going to work in his favour. But Magma's got a lot of upgrades, he's got a lot of druids. Down on populations though. And Rob managing to out-eco an opponent who's got an eco handicap against it. So that's really impressive stuff. But I think Magma does have a better army. Other players really moving out though. Bard Hall here, so there's some nice, unique Celtex there you can take that are also unique to PvP. Considering that you can get all these in PvE, but they're all split up and named differently, cost differently, yada yada. Gold mine going down there for Magma. He's finished that off. He's going to have to expand forward onto one of these gold mines, which Rob's going to know about. Finished up a fortress on this side though, so he's going to have good possession of these gold mines here. Rob, in the meanwhile, there's like 5 gold mines here. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gold mines there. Magma's only got another 3 around here. And Magma doesn't have a market line just yet, so a little bit rough here for Magma on golds. But he is going to take a fight now, and he may just have a nicer army composition. Robroc has all his Age 2 upgrades, but Magma's started getting some of his Age 3 ones already. Infantry damage, melee damage, and melee armor, Age 3 for Magma, and he does have his own fortress here, providing a bit of support. Meanwhile, there's a Takabara tickling the front line of Magma, who's gonna steamroll Robroc's front line. He's taking Age 4 and Bowman Champion. He's got a bunch of Immortals on the way. Doesn't have any Bowman yet though, so he's gonna really want to ramp them up if he's gonna have invested in Bowman Champion, which might be a bad decision considering Magma's already got a Stone Thrower. Might be able to put in a bit of work against the ranged units from afar. That's a big hit, and it might be followed up by another. Well, Rob's going to try and pick off the Stone Thrower, but the army's there to defend it. So anything here... Ooh, it's another big hit. And another one. Ooh, and another one. This Stone Thrower is already up to 5 or 6 kills. It's pretty much paid itself back already. So Robroc's really incentivized into rushing into a fight he probably shouldn't be taking at the moment, because that Stone Thrower is making so many nice hits on any ranged units sitting, or any small units sitting outside his base here. Here we go again. Another Immortal goes down, and so we've got combat expertise and brewing going in for Magma. He's going to be really tanky, getting much more health. That's like a 20% health hit to all his infantry with both those techs hitting at once, as well as some damage. Close combat expertise coming out for Robroc as well. He's going to need it because, you know, these guys don't have any siege armor. There's no splash, there's no crush armor, so... Oh, but there's a Palinton on here for Robroc. He's getting his own counter to this. And these guys actually outrange the Stone Throwers. So he can land the shot, He can turn this around. Oh, it's a little bit laggy. He's going to hit infantry too. This is really rough. He's going to give himself away. We actually hit a slinger, not infantry. Call of the Boar, Furor Celtica. Takabaro champion, which is possibly not the best thing in this position when the Celt players never really looked at fielding much in the way of bowmen or his carpenters out of his stables. Those are his only, even slingers early on, but like Magma's not really done that, so Robroc might be overplaying his hand in terms of the commitment to an anti-range unit. And really the Asabara, a really nice versatile unit. There's not a lot of spearmen and not a huge amount of horsemen there. But that's a nice shot there, Palinton picking off one of the stone trolls, and it's going to get another. Oh, and it does too. So these siege units are really generating a lot of value for these players. Really distant town centre there for Robroc, but he wants to be able to pinch some wood off his opponent's base. Because, I mean, as much as Magma's got huge amounts... as much as Rob's got huge amounts of gold, he doesn't have a huge amount of wood. So, Magma actually has a bit more wood over his side of the map, but he's going to find it hard because really he probably should have been able to contest this gold mine depending on the... looking at the layout of the map. It's just that Rob's built towards it made it really hard for Magma to even contest these at all. This one's probably a bit more neutral, but this one's obviously a bit more Rob favoured. Without being able to seize this one, Magma's going to need to be able to transition to caravans, which Rob's made it hard to do as well because there's watch posts over here, and there'll be a town centre over here, so you can't have a really distant market line without it being compromised. Magma needs to get a couple more storehouses there and there as well. Build them a little bit closer. Because think about it, guys, look at this gather time. Look at this. They're spending forever marching all that way. If you got a storehouse here and here, and oh, what's going on? Oh, Palinton's landing hits. Fortress and the stone thrower is coming up to greet it, but oh, I don't think it's actually tasked on anything. It's going to just wander up and get murdered. That's a 400 resource error there. Ooh, ouch. It's overextended. Costly, costly. So moving out here, Robroc. Got some age 4 upgrades, there's age 3 upgrades. Age 3 and 2 upgrades here for Magma. So he's started to fall behind on the upgrades. Oh, but no lag, no! No! Oh, Robroc's actually... Where's he set up the market? All the way down there? Or has he put a closer one in?